Hi, this is Katie Ann.
Todd,
So it's getting toward the end of the semester, so we have a few assignments to wrap up, and some of them we've held off the spring semester, waiting for the snow to thaw and everything else to thaw and the plants to start coming up. Now, I know looking at yesterday and today, there's still snow on the ground, but you'll still want to be thinking about getting these two assignments done that we're going to talk about today. So one of them is a lab. It's Lab 9 Ecosystem in a Jar. And you're going to make sure you have these supplies. There was a big, large gallon jar. It's plastic with a lid in the kit. A Ziploc baggie of charcoal, a little round thing of mesh, and then you have your marker. Also, there may be a Ziploc baggie of soil because I believe we decided to try adding soil. Then from outside, you're going to get some pebbles or rocks, some small plants like grass and moss. And someone emailed me the other day and they said, well, what if the grass is dead? Wait, you could probably wait a week or wait till April 1st to start this, and you'll still have plenty of time. And there may be some plants, a few more plants. And then small mushrooms you can use. Pick up some bark or wood from outside. It's optional if you want to put earthworms and this little, I call them pill bugs, but isopods, wood lice, things like that. Those are optional. Honestly, a lot of people say that earthworms die in there, so you might not want to put any of those. And then you'll need something to get the soil, like a spoon or a small shovel. So what I would do is I would get some of the soil and then mix it with what we gave you. And then water and masking tape or something to label it with. So those are the supplies that you're going to need. And this lab, if you could pull up the, I believe you have the lab instructions. Yeah, that one. So here is the assignment. And I'll tell you, this assignment really doesn't take long to set up at all. Maybe 15 to 30 minutes, depending on what you have in your backyard or if you want to go somewhere. But getting the supplies together and then just going outside and looking around and grabbing some small plants and putting it together doesn't take very long. So make sure you look at this video that tells you how to put it together, but also you're going to gather your supplies. At the bottom of the jar, you're going to put a layer of charcoal and rocks, like just pebbles you might find outside. Then after that, you're going to put a mesh above the rocks and charcoal. And then basically the layer at the bottom is good for drainage. Then you're going to put the soil. So if you get the soil from outside and the soil that you might have that we might have included in the kits. And if you have any earthworms or isopods, you'll throw those in there. But actually, don't put the earthworms in yet, because you're going to pack the soil down with the blunt stick. And then after that, put the earthworm in. Then you're going to add your plants, your moss, your grasses, and other small plants and mushrooms, things like that. And then press them down into the soil. Actually, that's the point I would add an earthworm. Then you're going to add wood or bark from the forest floor and break it into small pieces, and then add some water. And you spray it from a spray bottle or pour it. Now, what happens a lot of times is the first time people do this, a lot of times they'll add too much water. Okay. So, and then they'll get a bunch of mold. So maybe add a little water, and then if you feel like you need more, you can add more later. The first time I did a terrarium, then I added water, and then later I thought, well, there's no condensation on the walls. Maybe I needed more water. So I added more water, and then it molded and I had to throw it out. But the second time I did one, it's still sitting there in the windowsill and it's been closed for a couple of years. The plants are still alive and we haven't watered it since. So again, oh, look here, add the isopods, earthworms, or wood lice. Then you're going to label it, put a date on the label. You're going to close it and put it in a windowsill that receives sunlight. And that's it. So it really doesn't take very long, but you do need to do observations on it. And you need 5 observations. So normally we would make this at the beginning of like the fall semester or beginning of the summer. And then every 2 weeks, we would do an observation and look at it 10 weeks. And it'd go like a lot of the semester. But since we have to wait in the spring until the snow thaws, then you can't really do that. If you started this on April 1st, though, and then you did an observation every 3 days, you would get your 5 observations. You would have it spread out enough. You could even maybe do it every 3 days. Every 4 days might even work also. So every 3 or 4 days. And so you could stretch out your observations, but keep in mind that this assignment is due on the April 22nd. Okay. And that is on a Tuesday. So if you start it by Tuesday the 1st, April 1st, or sometime that weekend before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, then you would have plenty of time to do one observation every 4 days, maybe even every 5. So, and then you have your answer sheet. And let's see. And here's what you're going to be turning in for your assignment. Please make sure to include pictures of it so you have a picture right after you made it. Okay, and then right here, you have your picture after, and then there's some follow-up questions. But you can see how this sheet really, other than the longest part, is your observations, and it doesn't take that long to just look at it every 3 or 4 days and make observations. Frankly, if it were sunny this weekend, if all the snow melts, and if there is, this weekend would be the weekend. And I believe we're supposed to have some warm weather. So I would try to get this done by this weekend. Todd, thank you so much for pulling up these documents. Do you have any comments on this assignment?
Yeah, the weather that's right here says that we're getting 2 inches of snow on Saturday.
On Saturday, but then today the temperature was up.
Yeah.
So, well, if you can't do it this weekend, then by Tuesday the 1st, maybe. And then maybe someone could have done it. Someone actually, I think, did already do it last weekend when there was no snow on the ground and it was a little warmer. But if you have to wait, then you could do it your observations every 3 days. And then if it doesn't mold up, you can just look at your terrarium and keep it through the summer. So, by the way, you can find it, of course, under content, but you can also look under assignments that were in the blue bar at the top. Wait, don't go back.
I already went.
It might show names. Oh, it doesn't. Good. So if you go to the assignments at the top, go to the top of the blue bar. Yeah, here. So there's assignments, and then he just went under assignments. And then if you scroll down, it's lab 9. So because it moves from semester to semester, which lab it is. And this semester it's later. Set up by 3/28. And that was Friday. Well, you may or may not be able to set up, but I think if you have it by April 1st and do every 3 to 4 days, you'll be fine. Any other comments on that, Todd?
Nope.
So the next thing we want to look at is the nature walk assignment. And for that, you go under assignments and then discussions. Then you're going to scroll to the very bottom of the discussions, because this assignment is a discussion assignment. And it used to be called the PowerPoint presentation, but now I figured so many people use Google Slideshows or anything like that. So as long as we can see it, then that's good. And if you do it on a PowerPoint, you may want to save it as a PDF. It might be easier for people to see it. But here's your assignment, and it tells you basically what to do. And Todd has downloaded all these sheets so we can look at them now. And they're good. That one's a good one. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on a nature walk and identify and take pictures of 5 plants and 5 animals. And then you're going to create your slideshow of the organisms you identified. So you can use PowerPoint, Google Slides, any slideshow presentation software. But remember, 5 plants and 5 animals. Now, mushrooms are not plants or animals. So mushrooms do not count. If you want to put mushrooms on there, then that would be an extra slide. So you're going to make the PowerPoint slide. And can you increase the size of that just a little bit? Okay. And by the way, some people are like, well, it's too snowy and wet and muddy for a nature walk. But, you know, anytime I go for a drive now, then I'm looking around to count the plants and animals. Or you can just walk around your neighborhood. You can go in your backyard. But like if I did a walk around my neighborhood, then I would see white birch trees, rhododendrons. Oh, what are those maples that we have? The red maples. Oh, I always see cattails. I saw cattails today. I already said white birches. Oh, eastern white pines, they're everywhere. So, you know, and then for the animals,
Crows, pigeons.
yeah, crows, rock doves, which are the pigeons, mourning doves. So there's a lot of birds. Now, the thing is about taking your pictures, sometimes it's hard to get a picture of birds that are flying around. Oh, by the way, also you can, people forget about insects, but they're animals too. So you can take pictures of insects. Maybe you have a housefly running around. So if you can't get the picture fast enough, if you can identify a crow, you can go and look up a picture of a crow on Google Images and you can use that. But make sure that you cite it at the bottom. You put author, comma, date of where you got it. And then in your reference section, then you list that as a reference. Okay. So once you identify them, you're going to make the slideshow. It's number 3. You're going to have a title page slide, place of your, yeah, right here. You're going to have the place where you went to. This is 2 Cent Bridge. You're going to have,
You want that one? Okay.
yeah. Yeah. Can you maximize the view of it too? And can you go back? Thank you. So you have the name of your slideshow, where the location, where it is. And 2 Cent Bridge is you walk across a bridge from Waterville to Winslow or Winslow to Waterville. So it's surrounding park, your name, the class, the school, KPCC, and the date. And if you just put everything that's asked for in the assignment, then you'll get full points. Now for each slide, if you could go to the first slide, you're going to have 5 of animals. And notice I saw a northern cardinal here, but I didn't get a good photo. So I have author, comma, date of where I got this photo, and it's referenced later on. But here you're going to put the common name, then you're going to put the domain, and all plants and animals are eukarya, domain eukarya, and then kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Aves, order Passeriformes, family Cardinalidae, genus Cardinalis, species Cardinalis, and here's the scientific name, Cardinalis cardinalis. So here's the genus name and the species name. Isn't that funny how it's the same word for both? Notice this one is uppercase and capitalized, and this is lowercase for the first letter, and it's italicized. And look here, I did not make up this information. I got it from this source, IDIS 2022. So you need to cite the source. You also need to have other information on that animal. So can you go to the next slide, please, Todd? So here again, northern cardinals, and I got this from Audubon and this information again from Hobson. Now put this in your own words though. Don't cut and paste it because that's not your own words, and then make sure to cite it. But you just need to give a little bit of information like where they are present, where they live at. So they're present in the central and eastern US, all the way down from Texas up through Maine. They're in Ohio, they're, you know, but you need to tell about where they live, their habitat, and then their role in the ecosystem. Now you can put all this into one slide, or you can put it into 2 slides, this and the one from before. So a lot of people just put that as one slide because I always have extra stuff, but you don't need all the information that I gave. You just need what is asked for, which is, I believe, their range, their location, and their role in the ecosystem. If you want to put a little other stuff, you can. So There you go. Any questions, Todd?
Nope.
Any comments?
Nope.
If you have questions about the assignment, then email me. So you're going to do 5 animals and look at this 5 plants. And this, I call it the white birch tree, but there's other names for it too. So that's a common name. You only need one common name as long as it's a correct one. And then you have the domain, the kingdom. Now notice plants, they're called divisions, but phyla and animals and all the other kingdoms. So it's division Tracheophyta, class Magnoliopsida, orders Phagales, family Betulaceae, genus Betula, species Papyrifera, and then the scientific name is the genus and the species Betula papyrifera. I'm sorry, I don't know if my pronunciation is okay there, but notice here's this information, the source, the author, comma, date, and then also about the slides. You can take the information but leave these blank, and you can copy it and paste it on all of your slides. Just make sure the plants all say division and the animal's phylum for this. And then if you have taken off this part, you can just copy it and paste it into all of your slides, and then just fill in the information. Okay, so Todd, can you look at the next slide? And here it is again, the white paper birches, but this is the information about it. So you need range, maybe a little bit something about them, and then their role in the ecosystem. So they're producers right here. And then let's see the next slide. Here's a reference slide, and you'll have your references for each one. And by the way, there are sites, and in the assignment, I have a video where I show you the different sites you can go to, and it will actually put your references together for you. If you give it like the information, like maybe the website and some information that it asks for. So you can do that, but make sure that you're using APA or MLA format, and usually it's APA. And look at the short video that I have that describes this assignment, and it'll give you information on where to get these. But notice here, you saw Rawls, 2022, and that was on birch tree. I really, really recommend using IDIS. Sometimes it works super, super easy. Sometimes it's really slow and doesn't work well, so people use Wikipedia. But if you can, then I would use IDIS. And if it's not working one day, don't wait till the last, day to work on this, okay? So if it's not working one day, go back the next day, and you'll just maybe put in the common name, like Northern Cardinal, and then it'll tell you all of the different, kingdom, phylum, class, order, and all of that. And you can't just copy and paste from IDIS because it gives you a bunch of like subdivisions and your subphyla, supraphyla, things like that. So just give the information that we want. So any comments, Todd?
Nope.
So about the nature walk, you want to make sure there's plants and animals. It's nice to go to parks or trails, but if it's muddy or snowy, then you can just go around your neighborhood. Sometimes I go for a drive, but if you go through a drive, maybe say where. Oh, this is great, the rubric. I forgot to do that. So let's expand that one, the view on the rubric. So everyone has a rubric, and what you're going to do is look at each thing. It tells you the points. So if you have all of these things here, you get all 10 points for this. If you have 5 plants and 5 animals, there's a minimum of 1 slide and a max of 2 slides, and they're identified correctly, you get these points. So if you go through the rubric, make sure you have everything. And do you have the second page? Is the second page on there? Great. So this right here, responses. This is done in the discussions, so you can see everyone's slideshows and you can respond to them, okay? So right here, you respond to 3 other students' PowerPoints. So most of our discussions, you respond to 2. This one, it's 3, okay? And if you see that someone has forgotten to put like the scientific name for everything, or maybe they didn't italicize it, it might be nice for you to let them know that, and then they can go back and change it. So I'm going to wait till the day that the responses are due to start grading them all, because, you know, then I'd have to go back and partial grade them, or maybe they won't be the same. But this is due April 10th. So I hope I don't have to move that out if the weather's not holding up good enough. But I've actually done this. We've gone on drives and been able to count 5 if it's like, you know, but
Nature
so,
drive.
yeah, if it's too snowy and nasty, go for a drive, a nature drive, and you can put nature drive on the top and say what road you went on. But also we'll see how it goes, because it might be able to be expanded a week, but everything's set to where like there's not another lab due that week. So anyway, so make sure you look at these and that you have everything done. And if you see that someone has something glaringly, you know, wrong with theirs, it might be nice of you to let them know, and that way they can correct it before I grade it. But you are going to have to respond to 3 PowerPoints. I did have someone one semester that was like grading everyone's very harshly, and then theirs wasn't very good. So don't grade everyone's very harshly, but maybe you could just discreetly say like, oh, I love your PowerPoint slideshow. Your photos are wonderful. And, you know, you might want to look at your scientific names and make sure they're italicized, something like that, right? So any comments, Todd?
Nope. I'm consistent.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it. So we just wanted to let you know this assignment is worth, I believe, 15% of your grade. I didn't pull up a syllabus though. So you want to make sure you do the assignment. It's worth a lot on your grade. If you don't do it, it's not worth as much. I'm going to look real quick at the syllabus if I can find it real quick. I don't know if you can find it real quick, Todd, or not. I just want to double check. Oh, wait, this is spring. Yeah, I can find it. And I'm not going to share the syllabus because I have my computer needs to be debugged or something. But this is worth, it's worth 10%, not 15. I think it used to be worth 15, but it's worth 10% of your grade. So if you would have a like 85 and you didn't do the assignment at all, then you would get like a 75 for your grade, your whole entire class grade. So make sure, even if you didn't do all of it, make sure you at least do most of that assignment, right? Oh, there it is, right. So 25% for lab, lecture exams 30%, quizzes and worksheets, which really just quizzes 10%. Your discussion's worth 15%, but this project is worth 10%. And then your final exam is worth 10%. Final exam is over the entire semester. The quizzes are still open. So I would go back over the old review sheets and old quizzes, maybe look over things once a week, start getting ready for the comprehensive final. And if you really bombed one of the exams, then your final exam takes the place of that. Oh, one other thing, you have an exam that opens this Thursday, right? Let's see.
I can't go look at it while I'm
Yeah,
sharing.
well, I see the calendar. So you have actually scroll down where you've got content open, Todd. Where'd it go?
I stopped sharing because I was going to go look and I didn't want
Oh, well, you
to
should.
accidentally show something I shouldn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Content.
yeah, right on the side, it was showing the content on the side. If you scroll down, okay, to plants, was module 6, and then exam 4 review material.
You want me to open them?
Yes, please. Then there's going to be your plant material. So it's the same thing. Here's a combined review sheet. And here is, you know what? This says combined review worksheet key 1. I don't know why it says key 1. So I'm going to double check that. And here's the exam 4. But, oh, I think I half said it, but didn't finish it. If you really bombed one of the exams, your comprehensive final will take the place of your lowest exam. So keep that in mind. And that's only exam 4. We still have 2 exams left. So plants is due the 30th. That's this coming Sunday. And then in April, we have a 2-week module over animals. And that you'll have an exam due on April 13th. And then there's going to be a 2-week module starting the 13th, 14th on anatomy and physiology. So you have 2 weeks on that, and then you have exam 6, and then you have that whole week basically is just for exam. The 20, so you have an exam 6 is due the 27th, and then the 28th, 29th, and the 30th, and that week you have that comprehensive final. I have it written as due May the 3rd. So I will double check that with May the 3rd. So I hope this answers any questions about wrapping up the end of the semester, right?
Yep.
Anything else to say, Todd?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
I just went over the A&P first lecture in hour and a half with a different class. So it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad, but you do have to process and understand the material, which
Other terms.
for new material, yeah, just like everything. It's not too bad as far as the number of pages and notes, the amount of content, but you do need to make sure that you understand it as you go. Make sure you watch the slideshows. Make sure you watch the video about those 2 assignments, because watching the videos with the labs and the assignments that go with them are really helpful. If you have any questions, please email me and Todd, CC us both on it so we can answer it, because Todd has more of the focus on lecture. I have more of the focus on lab. So is that it?
Yep.
Okie doke.
Do well, folks.
The what?
Do well, folks.
Oh, yes. Good luck with everything. And have a good night.